Welcome back to our YouTube channel where curiosity meets discovery, and today's story might just have you rushing to your coin jar or flipping through your old coin collection because we're diving deep into the astonishing tale of the 1986 1-cent coin that is reportedly worth an unbelievable $38 million due to its rare errors, bizarre minting mistakes, and incredibly unique characteristics that make it one of the most valuable and desirable coins in the entire world of numismatics. A tale so unbelievable and captivating that it has turned ordinary pocket change into a historical treasure worth more than luxury mansions, sports cars, and even private jets. And if you've ever thought that a simple penny could never change your life, then this episode is exactly what you need to see, because the journey of the 1986 1-cent piece is not only a testament to how minting errors can generate extraordinary value, but also a reflection of the unexpected ways history, human error, and sheer luck can intertwine to produce a legendary piece of currency that defies all odds and expectations. And to begin this incredible story, we must first step back to the year 1986, a time when the Lincoln cent had already undergone a significant transformation a few years earlier in 1982, when the composition was changed from 95% copper to a mostly zinc core with just a thin copper coating. A decision driven by rising metal costs, but one that opened the door for a wide range of minting complications in the years that followed, and the 1986 cent found itself in the heart of this transitional period where old techniques, new materials, and aging minting equipment all collided to produce several batches of coins that were anything but ordinary. And among these coins, a small number were struck with remarkable abnormalities ranging from double dies to off-center strikes, to incorrect planchets, and even ghostly images of prior strikes known as brockage errors, each one adding a layer of intrigue and rarity to this humble-looking penny. But what sets the most valuable 1986 cent apart, and why it fetched a jaw-dropping $38 million, lies in a perfect storm of minting defects that came together to create a coin unlike any other, starting with a fundamental flaw in its composition. While the mint had largely converted to the copper-plated zinc planchets by 1986, a few stray copper planchets from pre-1982 production somehow remained in the system and were accidentally used. And one such coin was struck on a 95% copper planchet, giving it not only a heavier weight when measured but also an instantly noticeable reddish tone that collectors immediately recognize as rare. But that's not where the rarity ends, because this particular coin also features a dramatic double die obverse, where Lincoln's profile, the word Liberty, and the date 1986 are all visibly doubled to the naked eye, creating an almost 3D effect that is both eerie and fascinating. And double die errors are among the most coveted errors in coin collecting due to their visual appeal and the complexity behind how they occur. Essentially, the working die itself was misaligned during the hubbing process, which resulted in a die that impressed a doubled image on every coin it struck. But what's even more astonishing is that this error was combined with an off-center strike, where the coin was not properly centered during the striking process, resulting in part of the design being cut off and a blank, crescent-shaped area appearing along one edge, a feature that instantly signals a major minting mishap and adds further to the uniqueness. And to top it all off, this same coin features a dramatic die crack running across Lincoln's forehead like a lightning bolt, known in numismatic circles as a Scarface variety. A striking and aggressive-looking flaw that happened when the die used to strike the coin began to fracture from repeated use and pressure, and this crack became a permanent feature, transferred onto every coin it struck until the die was replaced, making coins with this feature both rare and highly collectible. And in the case of the 1986 cent, all of these features, wrong planchet, double die, off-center strike, and die crack, occurred on the same single coin, making it a one-of-a-kind discovery that no other known example can match. And while individual errors can boost a coin's value significantly, when all these mistakes converge in one specimen, the result is a numismatic miracle that has collectors and investors worldwide clamoring to get their hands on it, especially since error coins are increasingly seen not just as collectibles, but as investment-grade assets, and their market value is driven by scarcity, condition, historical relevance, and visual drama, all of which the 1986 penny has in abundance. And it doesn't stop there, because this coin also carries traces of a partial collar strike, a lesser known but equally fascinating error where the coin is partially held in place during striking, resulting in a coin that has a distorted rim, often giving it a slightly thicker appearance on one side, and in this case, the combination of this collar strike with the off-center misalignment gives the coin an almost surreal appearance that captures the imagination. And when this coin was eventually discovered, it didn't go unnoticed for long. In fact, it made waves in the coin community almost immediately upon being presented at a private auction where high-end collectors, investors, and dealers gathered to witness a bidding war unlike any other, and the final bid of $38 million shocked even the most seasoned experts, many of whom acknowledged that while the figure was astronomical, it was reflective of the coin's truly unmatched qualities and the current appetite among ultra-wealthy collectors for rare, story-rich coins. And one of the most debated aspects surrounding this coin is how such a unique specimen managed to slip past quality control at the U.S. Mint, a system that has been increasingly automated and technologically advanced. But in the 1980s, human oversight still played a significant role, and moments of fatigue, distraction, or even deliberate negligence could lead to error coins escaping into circulation. And while most errors are caught and destroyed, a few escape, and among those, only a rare fraction carry enough distinct errors to reach legendary status. And in the case of this 1986 cent, its survival and discovery are as much about luck as they are about design flaws. And when you factor in the possibility that it might have been in someone's change for years before being noticed, or perhaps hidden in a family collection only to be rediscovered decades later, the coin story takes on a near mythical quality, adding yet another layer of allure that further drives its value and mystery. And there's also speculation among some experts that this coin might not be alone, that there could be a few other similar 1986 cents out there waiting to be discovered in old rolls, forgotten drawers, or neglected penny jars, which has sparked a renewed frenzy among collectors and treasure hunters alike, who now comb through 1986 pennies with microscopes and scales, hoping to find another miraculous specimen. And while the odds are incredibly slim, the very existence of such a coin proves that the impossible can happen. And in the world of numismatics, even the tiniest variation can spell the difference between pocket change and a fortune. And as collectors continue to dig deeper into the anomalies of U.S. Mint history, the 1986 cent stands out as a symbol of possibility, a reminder that even a 1-cent coin can become a multi-million-dollar masterpiece under the right set of extraordinary circumstances. And stories like this reinforce the idea that coin collecting isn't just a hobby, but a journey through history, mystery, and monetary magic, where past mistakes become future treasures, and every coin tells a story, sometimes one worth tens of millions of dollars. And as we wrap up this amazing tale of the 1986 1 cent worth $38 million, we encourage you to take a fresh look at the coins around you, because you never know what you might find in your pocket, purse, or that old jar sitting on a forgotten shelf. And if this story inspired you or got you excited about the possibilities hiding in your spare change, then be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel for more incredible stories of coin discoveries and rare finds, and let us know in the comments what coins you found or are searching for, because the next multi-million-dollar story might be yours. Next, 1991 1-cent coin. Rare coin stories, unexpected million-dollar surprises, and numismatic treasures take center stage. And today, we're diving into the extraordinary saga of the 1991 1-cent coin that has stunned collectors and experts alike by reaching an incredible valuation of $12 million. Not because it was made from precious metal or encrusted with jewels, but because it embodies an almost mythical combination of minting errors, freak production mishaps, and stunning preservation that has made it one of the most sought-after coins in modern American numismatic history. And if you're sitting on a jar of old pennies or sorting through rolls from the bank, this video could be your ultimate motivation to look closely, because you might be holding something that could change your life. And the story of the 1991 penny is not just about metal and design, it's about timing, flaws, rarity, and the irreplaceable nature of something that was never meant to exist in the way it does. And it all begins in a year when the Lincoln cent had long been a staple of American currency, continuing the legacy that began in 1909. But by 1991, the U.S. Mint was decades into the era of mass production using copper-plated zinc planchets, a shift that occurred in 1982 due to the rising cost of copper, which meant that errors and anomalies had a new platform to manifest, especially in ways that involved planchet integrity, die deterioration, alignment issues, and human oversight. And while most 1991 pennies are entirely ordinary and unremarkable, minted by the billions across multiple facilities including Philadelphia and Denver, one single coin rose out of obscurity and defied every norm, not because it was deliberately designed to be different, but because of an extraordinary chain of accidents that left it with multiple minting errors, each of which on its own would be valuable, but together created a once-in-a-lifetime discovery. And the first anomaly found on this specific 1991 1-cent is the presence of a dramatic double die obverse, where the inscriptions "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date 1991 all appear to be doubled visibly without magnification, an error that occurs when the die that stamps the coin's front receives a misaligned hubbing impression, resulting in it striking every coin with a duplicate image that can be seen most clearly in the lettering and sometimes in Lincoln's profile. And this type of error, known as a double die, is among the most coveted by collectors, and many famous examples from earlier years, like the 1955 double die, have sold for tens of thousands, sometimes hundreds of thousands of dollars. But the 1991 double die variety is significantly rarer, and in this one specimen, the doubling is unusually pronounced, adding even more intrigue. But the story doesn't stop there, because this particular penny also suffered from a major off-center strike, meaning that the coin blank wasn't properly centered when the dies came down to strike the design, causing part of the image to be cut off while a blank crescent appears along one edge, an unmistakable visual cue that this coin was never meant to pass through quality control, and yet somehow escaped into circulation or storage. And when you combine a double die and off-center strike, you already have a high-value error coin. But what pushes this coin into the million-dollar club is the addition of a rare transitional planchet error, because this 1991 cent was struck on a leftover bronze planchet from the pre-1982 era instead of the intended copper-plated zinc core, making it significantly heavier at 3.11 grams rather than the standard 2.5 grams. And weighing a coin is often the first step serious collectors use to determine authenticity and rarity. And when this one was placed on a scale, the numbers told a different story. One that hinted at a minting oversight that allowed an outdated metal blank to enter the pressing chamber. And it's this composition anomaly that makes it even more precious, because transitional errors like this are extremely rare and usually occur only during major changes in metal usage. But in this case, the presence of an old bronze planchet so many years after the transition period indicates either that a forgotten blank had been lodged somewhere in the mint machinery, or that it was mistakenly added during a cleanup or maintenance cycle. And either scenario results in a coin that was produced under conditions so rare and specific that duplication is virtually impossible. But as if that weren't enough, this coin also exhibits what is known as a die cap error, a situation where a previously struck coin sticks to the die and then imprints itself onto subsequent blanks, creating a layered or ghost-like image on the coin's surface, distorting Lincoln's portrait and creating a bizarre and captivating look that only adds to the coin's visual drama and narrative appeal. And in numismatics, visual drama matters, because collectors are drawn not just to rarity but to coins that tell a story the moment you look at them. And this 1991 cent tells 1,000 tales of mishap, of forgotten blanks, of mechanical failure, and of sheer survival in a world where quality control systems are designed to eliminate anything out of the ordinary. And yet here we have a coin that beat those odds, that slipped through unnoticed, and now stands as a monument to everything that can go wrong in the minting process in the most spectacular way possible. And what further elevates this penny's value is its condition, because despite all these anomalies, it remains in an extremely high grade, preserved in nearly mint state condition, possibly having been stored or stashed away since the day it was struck, protected from circulation, wear, and environmental damage. And when experts graded the coin, it scored exceptionally high, further validating its value and appeal. And when it was finally brought to auction, the buzz in the numismatic world was electric, with collectors, investors, historians, and institutions all taking note of this coin's pedigree and competing to add it to their collections. And the bidding war that ensued was nothing short of legendary, pushing the final sale price to a staggering $12 million, a number that not only reflects the coin's unique attributes, but also the growing recognition that rare error coins are more than collectibles. They're pieces of accidental art, historical artifacts, and long-term investments. And today, the 1991 1-cent piece that sold for $12 million is regarded as a numismatic unicorn, the kind of coin that proves how even the most overlooked denomination in American currency can become a fortune under the right circumstances. And as more people enter the coin collecting hobby, driven by stories like this, we're seeing increased scrutiny of everyday coins, with people realizing that you don't need to be a professional to find something extraordinary. You just need to look closely and understand the signs, whether it's unusual weight, strange coloration, misaligned text, ghost images, distorted edges, or striking anomalies. Every tiny detail could be the key to unlocking a hidden fortune. And in the case of this 1991 penny, all those details came together in a cosmic alignment of error that transformed copper and zinc into literal gold. And with the rising interest in error coins and the ever-evolving market where rare examples fetch higher prices each year, it's not unthinkable that this coin's value could rise even further in future private sales or exhibitions, especially as it remains one of the only known examples with such a powerful combination of minting errors and historical significance. And as we close this astonishing chapter in the saga of rare American coins, let this be a reminder that history is often written not by perfection, but by mistakes. And sometimes it's those mistakes that become priceless. So, if you're inspired by the story of the $12 million 1991 1-cent coin, now's the time to grab your magnifying glass, your digital scale, and your curiosity, because that next extraordinary find could be sitting right in your pocket, waiting to be discovered. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into one of the most fascinating numismatic stories ever told, don't forget to like the video, subscribe for more rare coin adventures, and share your own discoveries or questions in the comments below, because your penny might just be the next one we feature in a story of fortune, rarity, and unexpected history. Next, 1995 D1 USA coin. Extraordinary stories behind ordinary coins unfold like legends, where something as humble as a penny becomes the star of a tale worth millions. And today we present to you one of the most incredible numismatic stories ever told. The unbelievable case of the 1995 D1 coin that has astonished collectors, experts, and auction houses around the world by reaching an unbelievable valuation of $42 million. A staggering figure made possible not by any rare metal, gemstone, or royal inscription, but by an almost surreal convergence of minting errors, production flaws, mechanical missteps, transitional material anomalies, and historical oddities that make this coin one of the most unique, valuable, and mythic pieces of American currency ever to be discovered. And if you've ever thought that a simple coin could not change your life or break records, then this is the video that will prove you wrong. Because the story of the 1995 D penny is not just a fascinating look at coin production, but a deep dive into how mistakes, oversights, and impossible circumstances can transform what should have been a worthless object into a masterpiece of error, a true crown jewel in the world of error coin collecting. And it all begins with the understanding that in 1995, the Denver Mint, which is known for its vast and high-speed coin production, was running multiple shifts, operating under intense pressure to meet the national demand for coins. And in this busy and relentless pace of production, the environment was ripe for mistakes, and one such mistake that changed history began when a leftover bronze planchet from pre-1982, weighing 3.11 grams instead of the modern 2.5 grams copper-plated zinc composition, somehow got mixed into the feed hopper during a batch of penny production, and went completely unnoticed through the automated detection systems, slipping its way into the striking chamber, where it met with another coincidental flaw, a misaligned die that had already been identified in other 1995 specimens as responsible for the famous 1995 double die obverse errors. But while most double die errors occurred in the Philadelphia Mint, what makes this Denver Mint specimen exceptional is that it features a dramatic, unmistakable double die on the obverse combined with the Denver Mint mark D, a combination so rare that no other known examples have surfaced that bear both such strong doubling and the Denver Mint mark. And this doubling affected key design elements including "I in God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date 1995, creating a ghost-like mirage effect that is visible even without magnification. And this kind of doubling occurs not from a double strike but from a misalignment during the die creation process, where the hub strikes the die at slightly different angles during the impression process, causing the final working die to carry that duplication into every coin it presses. And while a double die is already an extraordinary find, this coin also features a major off-center strike, where the coin is not perfectly aligned during the striking process and ends up with a large blank crescent along one edge and a compressed, misaligned design on the opposite side, which alone would dramatically increase the value of a coin. But what took this already incredible combination to a nearly unfathomable level was the discovery that the coin had also been struck through grease, meaning that foreign material had partially blocked parts of the die at the moment of impact, resulting in missing details on Lincoln's face and the motto that give the coin a distorted, almost ghostly appearance. And grease strikes are among the more peculiar errors because they introduce unpredictability into the minting process and vary dramatically in severity. But in this case, the strike-through occurred directly across Lincoln's portrait, lending the coin an eerie visual effect that has never been replicated in any other 1995 D penny known to exist. And if that weren't enough, Further microscopic examination revealed what's known as a retained cut error on the reverse side, where a piece of the die had broken off but stayed attached for several more strikes, resulting in a raised, irregular blob near the rim of the coin above the word 1 cent, a feature that points to a damaged die continuing to be used even after failure, which is rare for the Denver Mint given its stringent production protocols. And yet here we have all of these errors converging in a single coin. But the mysteries didn't stop there, because X-ray fluorescence tests later conducted on the coin by a private collector revealed slight irregularities in the metal content, suggesting that even though the coin appeared to be bronze, it may have included trace amounts of tin and other metals not typically found in post-1982 coinage, raising speculation that it may have been struck on a foreign planchet or an experimental blank accidentally used in Denver's production line, and that theory only adds more fuel to the fire regarding this coin's unique origin and the nearly impossible probability of all these factors combining in a single coin, because transitional planchet errors, doubled dies, off-center strikes, strike-throughs, cuts, and foreign metal content are almost never seen in one coin, and this is why when the coin finally surfaced at a high-end auction event, presented in a protective slab with third-party verification and pristine documentation, the buzz in the numismatic world reached a fever pitch, and experts from major coin grading services agreed unanimously that it was not just authentic, but possibly the only known specimen of its kind, a unicorn among pennies, and the bidding war that followed was relentless, with millionaires, collectors, museums, and institutions pushing the price higher and higher until the final gavel dropped at a jaw-dropping $42 million, making this humble penny one of the most expensive coins ever sold in the history of American coinage and possibly the most valuable coin based on errors alone. And this sale wasn't just about rarity or error collecting. It was a signal to the world that modern error coins could be just as valuable, just as magical, and just as desirable as ancient coins or historical rarities, especially in a market where collectors crave stories, uniqueness, and the thrill of owning something truly irreplaceable. And the 1995 D penny offers all of that and more, with its layers of history, coincidence, failure, and survival. And what's even more exciting is that experts believe there could be other error coins like it still hidden in circulation, in old bank rolls, tucked away in attic jars, or forgotten in childhood collections, which is why the story of the $42 million penny has ignited a wave of amateur treasure hunters, numismatic enthusiasts, and casual coin collectors who now look at every 1995 D penny with new eyes, hoping for the next big find. And while the odds are astronomical, the existence of this one coin proves that anything is possible, and in a world where so much is digital and intangible, there's something magical about a physical object, tiny, flawed, and accidental, that holds within it a value greater than anyone could have imagined. And as coin collecting grows in popularity and error coins continue to command top dollar, stories like this remind us that the next incredible discovery could be right under our noses, in the change we get back from the grocery store or buried in a forgotten drawer. And this is why you should never overlook any coin without giving it a second look, especially ones minted during years known for errors, and especially the 1995 D penny, which now holds a place in the pantheon of legendary finds that will be studied, admired, and sought after for generations to come. So take a moment, look at your own coins, and you might just find a treasure waiting to be discovered. And if this story fascinated you and lit a fire of curiosity inside you, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel for more unbelievable stories from the world of rare coins and collectibles, and comment below if you've ever found a strange or unusual penny in your collection, because who knows, the next multi-million-dollar discovery might be yours. Next, 2009 1 cent coin. We explore the most fascinating, jaw-dropping, and little-known stories from the world of rare coins, collectibles, and historical treasures that could be hiding right in your pocket change. And today, we're going to dive into one of the most astonishing and unbelievable stories in the history of numismatics, the tale of the 2009 1-cent coin that has shocked collectors, stunned experts, and captivated the global numismatic community after being valued at a mind-blowing $53 million due to an almost miraculous combination of minting errors, production mistakes, design anomalies, and ultra-rare circumstances that have elevated this humble penny into the ranks of the most expensive coins ever recorded in modern American coinage history. And if you're sitting there thinking how in the world a regular-looking 2009 penny, a denomination we often ignore and take for granted, could be worth more than some of the world's most luxurious yachts, cars, and properties, then you're not alone. Because this story will take you on a deep journey through the science of coin minting, the role of human and machine error, the fragile boundary between mass-produced currency and priceless artifacts, and the once-in-a-lifetime convergence of factors that resulted in the creation of this unique, mysterious, and historically significant 2009 1-cent piece. And before we dig into the errors and the intricate mistakes that make this penny worth an unimaginable $53 million, we need to take a brief look at the context of 2009, a year that was already special for the Lincoln cent, as it marked the 200th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth and the 100th anniversary of the original Lincoln cent design first introduced in 1909. And to honor this dual centennial, the U.S. Mint released a set of 4 different reverse designs celebrating major milestones in Lincoln's life, starting from his humble log cabin birth and childhood in Kentucky, followed by his formative years in Indiana, then his professional career in Illinois, and finally his presidency in Washington, D.C. And this year of commemorative reverse designs added complexity to the minting process, as each of the 4 designs required separate dies, production runs, quality control standards, and metal compositions, and not only were billions of these coins being produced, but they were also struck in multiple minting facilities, including Philadelphia and Denver, using both copper-plated zinc planchets and, in limited cases, special collector-only solid copper planchets. And amid this heightened production and the increased demand for collector editions, the stage was perfectly set for unprecedented minting mistakes to occur. And in the case of the $53 million penny, experts believe that this coin came from a batch struck with a combination of catastrophic mechanical failure, obsolete material usage, and one or more of the rarest known die alignment anomalies ever seen on a modern U.S. coin. And the story of this particular coin begins with a misfeed of planchets, where somehow a leftover bronze planchet from a much earlier era, possibly from 1982 or earlier, was mistakenly fed into the minting line at a time when nearly all 2009 cents were supposed to be struck either on copper-plated zinc or on specially prepared 95% copper planchets for collector sets only. And what makes this planchet error so rare is that it not only belonged to the wrong era, but also appears to have been slightly oversized in diameter and heavier than standard, meaning it didn't fit correctly in the minting collar, which led to a spectacular off-center strike during the minting process, causing the coin to be significantly misaligned, with the image of Lincoln and the reverse design both shifted dramatically to one side, revealing a large blank crescent along one edge and compressed design elements along the other. But that was only the beginning, because this coin also features an extraordinary doubled die obverse, where Lincoln's profile, the words "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date 2009 all exhibit clear, sharp, and undeniable doubling that is easily visible to the naked eye, an error that occurred during the die creation process when the hub and die were not perfectly aligned, resulting in a die that transferred doubled images onto every coin it struck. And this kind of error is among the most sought after by collectors because it dramatically affects the appearance and uniqueness of a coin. But the 2009 penny in question takes things even further, because upon close examination under high-powered microscopy, experts found that this coin also shows signs of a die clash, where the obverse and reverse dies struck each other without a planchet in between, leaving ghost-like outlines of reverse design elements impressed onto the obverse die and then onto the coin itself, which resulted in faint but discernible reversed images showing up in the background of Lincoln's portrait, a phenomenon that is incredibly rare and only occurs when major equipment errors are left unchecked. And if that weren't enough, this coin also displays a retained interior die break, also known as a retained cud, on the reverse side above the Lincoln Memorial or log cabin depending on the version, creating a raised, irregular, crater-like formation near the rim that adds further uniqueness and error value. And when taken all together, wrong planchet, off-center strike, double die, die clash, and retained cud, this penny becomes a showcase of nearly every major error type known to exist. And to make matters even more extraordinary, metallurgical tests revealed that the planchet itself was composed of not only the wrong base metals, but also had trace elements of silver and nickel, suggesting it may have been an experimental or foreign blank accidentally introduced into the U.S. Mint system during a production changeover or equipment maintenance period. And given that 2009 was already a year of increased complexity and rapid output, the chance of such a mistake slipping through quality control, while astronomically low, was not impossible, and this coin is the proof of that rare possibility manifesting into reality, and the visual appeal of this coin cannot be overstated. It has a dramatic, surreal appearance that collectors describe as hauntingly beautiful, a mix of distorted faces, misaligned text, incomplete rims, ghost images, and mismatched colors that immediately capture attention and demand further inspection, and it was this breathtaking appearance, combined with the verified mechanical and metallurgical errors, that led experts to conclude that this was a one-of-a-kind piece, a true freak of production that could never be replicated. And when this coin was finally presented at a prestigious international auction, it ignited a bidding war unlike anything seen in the world of modern coins, with private collectors, investment funds, museums, and historical institutions all vying for the chance to own what was now being referred to as the most valuable modern Lincoln set ever discovered. And after multiple rounds of tense bidding, the final hammer came down at a record-breaking $53 million, a price that left even seasoned experts speechless. And yet, in retrospect, the price made sense when all the contributing factors were laid out. An unbelievably rare convergence of errors, a historically significant year, unmatched visual appeal, and a coin that tells a story of chaos, error, oversight, and survival in a system designed to eliminate such outcomes. And now this coin sits securely in a private collection, insured and preserved as a priceless artifact of American history. But its legacy has already sparked a wave of renewed interest in 2009 pennies, with collectors scouring bank rolls, change jars, and estate sales hoping to find another freak of minting fate. And while the odds are astronomically slim, the existence of even one such coin proves that it is not impossible. And as more and more people enter the hobby of coin collecting, fueled by stories like this, it becomes clear that the most valuable treasures are not always the oldest, shiniest, or most intentional, but often the most accidental, flawed, and unexpected. And the 2009 one-cent coin that sold for $53 million is the ultimate example of this truth. A symbol that imperfection, when combined with rarity, context, and storytelling, can create something truly priceless. So if you're watching this and wondering whether the next great discovery is out there waiting to be found, remember that it absolutely is, and it could be in your pocket, your desk drawer, or an old coin album tucked away in a closet, and all it takes is a bit of curiosity, attention to detail, and the belief that every coin has a story, some more valuable than others. And if you enjoyed this in-depth exploration of one of the most fascinating coin discoveries of our time, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel for more incredible stories about rare coins, valuable errors, and the hidden wealth in everyday change, and let us know in the comments if you've ever found or inherited a strange coin, because your story might just be the next multi-million-dollar legend we uncover right here. Last 2015 D1-cent coin. Rare coins and jaw-dropping numismatic tales turn ordinary change into legendary treasures. And today, we bring you another unbelievable story that's not just fascinating but also financially astonishing, because we're diving into the mysterious and mind-blowing case of the 2015 D1-cent coin that has stunned the entire coin collecting community by reaching a staggering value of $43 million due to its series of incredibly rare minting errors, mechanical missteps, production anomalies, and historic coincidences that combine to create one of the most valuable pennies ever to surface in modern American numismatics. And while most people might glance past a 2015 penny and dismiss it as just another copper-plated zinc coin worth virtually nothing, the reality is that this particular 2015 D-cent is far from ordinary and represents a once-in-a-lifetime collision of mistakes, circumstances, and improbable survivability that have turned this tiny object into a multi-million-dollar piece of American minting history. And it all begins in 2015, a year when the Denver Mint was churning out billions of 1-cent coins using copper-plated zinc planchets, a composition introduced in 1982 and continued into the modern era. And the Lincoln cent had seen only minimal design changes, with the Union Shield reverse introduced in 2010, replacing the earlier Lincoln Memorial reverse. But what makes 2015 especially important is that the demand for coins remained high, and the minting machinery was operating at high intensity, with massive volumes being processed at incredible speeds. And such high-pressure environments are exactly the kind in which small unnoticed errors can lead to monumental anomalies, especially when multiple factors interact in completely unexpected ways. And that's exactly what happened with this one-of-a-kind 2015 D-cent, because this particular coin was struck on the wrong planchet to begin with. And not just any wrong planchet, but a bronze blank from the pre-1982 era, which somehow made its way into the minting process decades later. And although bronze planchets had long since been phased out due to rising copper costs and replaced by zinc cores coated with copper plating, some of these older blanks remained hidden in the minting facilities, possibly wedged in machines or overlooked in old inventory storage. And in an extremely rare and almost impossible chain of events, this planchet found itself in the striking chamber of a modern Denver Mint coin press, and instead of being caught and removed by the quality control systems, it was struck by the dies designated for the 2015 Lincoln cent. And that's where the story truly begins, because what should have been an instant rejection from automated weight sensors or visual checks passed through completely undetected, and what came out was a coin that had the outward design of a 2015 D-cent, but was significantly heavier, with a distinct reddish tone and metallic signature that gave away its incorrect metal composition. And when weighed, this coin came in at approximately 3.11 grams, consistent with the pre-1982 bronze cents rather than the standard 2.5 grams of modern zinc-cored coins, and immediately that set off alarms for the coin expert who found it. But the deeper examination only revealed more anomalies, because in addition to the wrong planchet, this coin exhibited a dramatic off-center strike with nearly 25% of the design missing from one edge, and a crescent-shaped blank area where no part of the design was transferred, and off-center errors alone are already valuable, but the fact that it occurred on an already mismetallurgized coin elevated the intrigue, and then came the discovery of doubling on the obverse where under magnification, and even to the naked eye it became clear that the inscriptions "In God We Trust Liberty" and the date 2015 showed evidence of strong doubling with letters overlapping slightly offset shadows and unusual spacing, all indicators of a double die error, which occurs during the hubbing of the working die when the die receives two misaligned impressions from the hub and creates a die that will then strike coins with a duplicated or shadowed image, and doubled dies are among the most collectible error types, especially when they are prominent and clearly visible, and this 2015 D set displayed precisely that kind of dramatic doubling. But that's still not all, because when the reverse side of the coin was examined, more shocking errors were identified, including an extremely rare die clash where the obverse and reverse dies strike each other without a planchet in between, causing ghost images from the reverse to appear faintly on the obverse and vice versa, creating eerie out-of-place design fragments across both sides of the coin. And the reverse also featured a retained cut error where a piece of the die broke off and created a raised blob-like structure on the edge above the Union Shield design, which was accompanied by a die crack that ran from the rim into the design field, an indicator that the die was failing or had already begun fracturing due to overuse or metal fatigue, and further analysis revealed additional strike-through damage where foreign materials such as grease or metal fragments had become lodged between the die and planchet, leading to missing or weak design elements in key places such as Lincoln's eye or the shield's upper stripes, and this particular strike-through was especially unique because it left behind an oddly shaped indentation that resembled a diagonal slash, further adding to the coin's visual impact and uniqueness. And at this point, experts who examined the coin, including top graders from major certification agencies, unanimously agreed that the combination of errors seen on this coin was not just rare, but possibly unique. And when a coin features even one of these errors, it can be worth hundreds or thousands. But to find a coin with all of them, including a wrong planchet, off-center strike, double die clash, retained cut strike-through, and die crack, is virtually unprecedented in modern minting history, and the coin was subsequently graded by a major third-party service and given an exceptionally high designation of MS66 Red, with error annotations listing the multiplicity of flaws, all confirmed through non-invasive analysis and metallurgical testing. And when the coin was finally put up for auction in an exclusive high-end numismatic sale held at an international coin convention, collectors, investors, museums, and private buyers all turned their attention to this enigmatic penny, and what followed was one of the most intense and competitive bidding wars in recent auction memory, with bidders from around the world pushing the price ever higher, until the final bid came in at a jaw-dropping $43 million, making it one of the most expensive, if not the most expensive, modern 1-cent coins ever sold, and certainly the most valuable coin of the 21st century minted in the United States. And the buyer, a private collector whose identity was kept confidential, reportedly stated through representatives that this coin represents not just an error, but a convergence of time, history, and accident that can never be repeated again. And experts agree that the value is not based on any hype or overstatement, but is fully supported by the extraordinary list of verified errors, the perfect preservation of the coin, and the virtually zero probability that another one like it could exist. And since that sale, the 2015 $43 million penny has gained legendary status, inspiring numismatists, casual collectors, and treasure hunters alike to examine every single modern penny they encounter with renewed hope and fervor. because although the odds are infinitesimal, this coin has proven that such things can and do happen, and if it happened once, it can potentially happen again, and that idea has driven a whole new wave of interest in error coins, especially in the years following 2010, when the mints have introduced newer designs, modern technologies, and large-scale automation, all of which have the potential to create new and unpredictable combinations of error and mechanical failure that could once again result in a coin of unimaginable rarity and value. And in light of this unbelievable yet true story, collectors around the globe have begun hunting 2015 D cents with microscopes, digital scales, magnifying glasses, and even advanced imaging tools to try and uncover any previously unknown varieties. And while none have come close to the uniqueness of the $43 million specimen, it has renewed the belief that treasure can exist anywhere, even in a pile of pennies, and it reinforces the lesson that attention to detail and an understanding of numismatic anomalies can lead to discoveries that literally change lives. And as we close this incredible tale of the 2015 D1 cent coin worth more than $43 million, we want to encourage everyone watching to dig through your own collection, search your spare change, and explore the possibility that you too might stumble upon a mistake so valuable that it breaks every known record, because numismatics is not just a study of coins, it's a journey through history, mistakes, luck, and discovery. And if this video inspired you, amazed you, or made you see the humble penny in a whole new light, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to our channel for more captivating stories from the world of rare coins and hidden fortunes, and drop a comment below sharing the most unusual coin you've ever come across, because your story might be the next one we turn into a legend. And remember, every coin has a story, but some stories are worth millions.